Hi, welcome to Monkey Time. My name is Todd, and we are very delighted to have Cash Micheals back as a guest again today.
After 2 years.
It's been 2 years. Yeah. Nice to see you.
Every time there's a hot election, you give me a call.
Well, you know, you have a good perspective on things. Cash Micheals is the editor and chief reporter of the Carolinian. It's been a African-American newspaper in Raleigh, in North Carolina for
over 70 years.
70 years. You also write for the Wilmington Journal. And you've done documentaries.
Right, Obama in North Carolina, The Path to History.
You did. That's about his election his campaign in North Carolina.
Well, about the history of North Carolina, the unique political and racial history of North Carolina, and how Obama came in 2008 and did something that really hadn't been done previously, which was, in effect, win the state.
Yeah.
And so to this day, we're considered to be a purple state, though, as you know, there's been a lot of changes since 2010, but
we'll talk about the two words that describe those changes are Art Pope, right? That's the argument anyway. But thank you so much for joining us. Our phone lines are open. The number's 996-6775 if you want to join in and ask a question of Cash. Let's start talking about the local election. There's a local election this coming Tuesday. You've got the city council, you've got the mayor, and you've got the Wake County School Board. Now, some of these will end up in runoffs that will be decided in November.
November 8th.
But of all those races, I mean, let's start with the mayor race. You got 3 people running for mayor. Nancy
McFarland, who currently is the mayor pro tem. You have Billy Redmond, who is connected with the developers, and then you have
She's gotten a lot of money from individual people.
Oh, no question about that.
And I'll bet you when you look at who those people are, there's a lot of developers and their families and friends
and then you have
pouring money into Billy Redmond. Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but
And then you have
that's
a doctor,
a warning flag.
an obstetrician, Dr. Randall Williams.
Who is completely like being a lamb led to slaughter.
Well,
don't you think? I mean, Tom Fetzer whispered in his ear, "Hey, you could be mayor. I'll help you." And then the Republicans endorsed the other Republican, and he's like has no experience whatsoever.
Well, but the Tea Party. If the Tea Party movement has taught us anything, it's that people with no experience are in vogue today as far as getting elected to anything and everything.
I don't think he has a chance. The only thing he might do is might make it easier for Nancy McFarland to win 50%. You think that's possible?
It's possible. Outgoing Mayor Charles Meeker came out this week and gave his personal endorsement to Nancy McFarland, which should not surprise anybody.
Yeah.
So right now she would be the odds-on favorite, but as you said, Billy Redmond has money just being shoveled in.
And people who will really get out to vote for her, developers.
But to the best of my knowledge, it's been a very nice race. I mean, no one's really throwing mud at anyone, unless you've heard something I haven't.
No.
It's been very, very quiet. The at-large race, very, very quiet.
Russ Stevenson, that's Russ Stevenson.
Marianne Baldwin.
Yeah.
And then this guy, Paul Fitz, who is a conservative. I've seen him at a couple of candidates forums, and so he's there saying, not to raise taxes, not to spend money, just sit there with your hands over your eyes and just, pray for the best, so to speak.
Well, why do you think the race has been kind of low-key? I mean, considering that the last election we had resulted in some extreme bitterness, and yet here we've got the Raleigh mayoral and city council races, and there's
give Charles Meeker credit. He is concluding 5 terms.
10 years, yeah.
10 years, which matches Avery Upchurch, as far as the most served by a mayor. And look at the growth in those 10 years. Look at the growth in this city. This is not the same place that was back in 2000 or back in 1995 or something. We really have grown. We really are attracting lots of businesses, lots of conventions per the rehabilitation of the Raleigh Civic and Convention Center. We've opened.
Is that really profitable now? I don't know about that.
Don't forget now, when you have like major stadiums or convention centers,
maybe it is.
They act as loss leaders to attract people downtown.
Okay.
So when you build it, you're going to lose.
Well, that's the first time anyone's ever admitted that. No, usually, the convention center will be money making, but it's kind of a loss leader. Convention business is declining.
Exactly.
Or has been anyway.
But I mean, come on, look at what has happened. Fayetteville Street has opened up now. More businesses there. So give Charles Meeker his due. He is doing an extraordinary job.
Pinched vision of Fetzer and Coble, the pinched vision for downtown and everything was just this So at least there's a more open, expansive vision.
I think the mayor deserves his flowers. He's done a superb job. Business Week naming Raleigh #1 in the nation. I mean, come on. So what are the issues?
Don't you ever think that they don't really live here and don't really know what it's like when they do that? Don't you ever, Carol? Don't you ever think that?
Yeah, but
oh yeah, #1 in the nation, Raleigh. Okay, I love the town. Don't get me wrong, but that seems a little excessive.
Hope they've done their homework.
Okay.
And look,
all right.
anytime somebody, a national periodical, gives you #1 status, just be quiet and take it.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Are you telling me to shut up? All right, Cash Micheals, editor of the local African-American newspaper, the Carolinian. Let me ask you about so there's a quietness on the city council and the mayoral races, which doesn't mean you shouldn't go out and vote, but you're saying that the big fire is in the Wake School Board races.
Oh, hey, now we can flex some muscle now. Yeah, I mean, the whole nation is watching our Wake County School Board elections. We have 5 seats that are open, 4 currently being held by Democrats, 1 incumbent Republican, Ron Margiotta, District 8, out there by Apex, Holly Springs, and parts of Cary. He has served on the school board since 2003. He's vying for his 3rd term, has been the chairman of the board for the last 2 years when 4 conservatives were elected in probably the
because nobody voted. Well, the turnout last time was horrifically low.
That's true, but at the same time,
that's why they won.
After 2008 and the tremendous turnouts for the Obama election, people just did not think that their board could be swamped the way it was in 2009, and they got the shock of their lives. Yeah. So we have some energy generated there. And
you think there's a chance we could take the board back? We have to win all 5 of those seats, including knocking off the head, the conservative Republican head of the school board.
I'm hearing that the polls look decent, but that is never a guarantee of anything. It's a matter of whether or not people are committed to get out there and make a change. Grabbing 5 seats is a big order, given that you've got 5 different districts. District 8,
which one is that? Is that Margiotta's?
Which is Apex, Holly Springs, Cary, Margiotta's district.
Well, that's where Susan Evans is running against.
Susan Evans is running against.
Let's just mention Susan Evans' name, as long as we're saying Margiotta a lot, because they love that. Oh, they mentioned our name. Susan Evans is the one who has the chance to knock off the head of the conservative Republican head who's been driving this, to me, racist policy. But
she's raising some dollars. Wake County Democratic Party is not sitting on its fanny this time like they did in 2009. They've put together a machine raising money for these candidates, pushing them. Mac Paul, the chair of the county party, doing a good job. So let's see.
You think there's actually a chance that Margiotta could go down?
Well, look, see, keep in mind, he is used to winning a sleeper of an election, running just as the representative of District 8. Yeah. This is the first time he's had to run as both representing District 8 and also running as chairman of the board. So he has 2 records he has to account for. He made sure that the board approved building a new high school in his district, so he has something to really show for being on there.
Interesting.
As chairman, he's touting neighborhood schools policy. He's touting Superintendent Tate's blue student assignment plan. He's touting stability, proximity.
But they're not actually releasing the student assignments until after the election, the NNO.
Well, don't forget now, Tate presented it formally to the board on Tuesday night. They still have some things to fix, but essentially they won't vote on it until around maybe 3rd week in October or so. Okay. But the key thing, though, that I love about what Margiotta is doing is he and Vice Chair John Tedesco are claiming all of this student academic or student achievement stuff, none of it of which really they're responsible for, because they spent the last 2 years since they got in office, meaning the 4 Republicans who've been helping him, they've been spending their time on student assignment, fighting over that. You know, busing, student diversity, blah, blah, blah.
So there's this.
So all of a sudden, they released this long list of, hey, graduation rates are up, and we established the STEM program, and we did this with restoration, this and Renaissance schools and whatever else. That stuff was in the pipeline before they even got into office, but they're taking credit for it.
Well, Margiotta was in office, but before he was...
Yeah, I know, but don't forget, Margiotta was the sole conservative on the board before 2009, and he voted against most of that stuff anyway.
Did he really?
Oh, please, everything everyone else said yes to, he said no to, if for no other reason, just to make a point.
And now you're saying Margiotta's claiming
now he's taking credit for it, exactly.
For the stuff that other people put in the pipeline against him.
So this is a matter. So this is a matter of, you know, will District 8 indeed decide, we may have wanted change from the previous school board, but this kind of change we didn't bank on. We want a school system that is not the butt of Jon Stewart's jokes on TV. We want a school system that the U.S. Education Secretary is not investigating, and also saying bad things about Bill Clinton, saying bad things about. We want a school system that we can be proud of.
Well, for some people, that's a plus. I know you're out there. So all right. So that's this Tuesday. Early voting is already open.
Early voting has been open.
In Raleigh, there's only one early voting spot now.
Right, and that's 337 South Salisbury Street downtown.
Yeah.
8:30 to 5 p.m.
Last time there were a lot more early voting places.
Yeah, I know, but they've cut the funding.
Wow, the Republicans have closed down a bunch of the early voting. And early voting was growing. People liked it. And one of the first things that the Republicans did, right, was cut the funding.
Shorten the period.
Shorten the period for early voting.
Also, they knocked out souls to the polls on Sundays.
What are souls to the polls?
Souls to the polls were black churches after they would have their service, and really anybody, but it was primarily because of black churches. They then could leave, get into church vans, and be driven down. Downtown.
Given the way a lot of black churches are fighting against gay equality, I'm not so sure I like this souls to the polls idea, Carol.
Wait a minute.
I don't know. I may be Republican on that one.
You didn't bring me on here to talk about that. No, don't get me on that.
Can I ambush you on that? No. But it is an interesting subject that the way that the Republicans are trying to split black voters away from Democratic Party and liberals on gay rights and gay equality, and they've got some black church leaders, falling in with them.
Well, you can set your watch by Republican and conservative efforts to try to put a wedge between the African American community and the Democratic Party. They'll use anything they can. I think before I came over here, I saw something. Herman Cain. Yeah. Who's making a lot of big noise.
The Republican candidate for president.
Yeah, they're looking deeper.
Who has his head up his ass. Oh, sorry.
They're looking deeper into his background. They see when he ran for the Senate, I think in Georgia in 2004, he had some nasty things to say about the gay community and the like and so forth. All of that is par for the course. And we live in a country where, yes, you have the freedom to practice your religion and freedom of speech, thought, so forth and so on. And so you have a lot of African Americans who, because of the church, yes, they have problems with the gay community. Doesn't necessarily mean that they would...
Not all black churches.
No, I didn't say that. But as an institution, they believe firmly in the Bible, and they interpret that as, the gay community is something that's apathetic to what we're about as Christians. And that's something that's going to have to be hashed out. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm not that way.
Well, I know a lot of black gay people that would definitely have something to say about that. We have a phone call. We're talking to Cash Micheals.
Oh, Herman Cain. Okay.
Editor of the Carolinian, the local African-American newspaper. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, I wanted to do an observation here about the school board. I hope the progressives win all 5 seats. But what would it be like if we won only 4 seats? Do you think Deborah Goldman would then be a swing vote, sort of like Anthony Kennedy on the Supreme Court?
I think that she did all the stepping out and stepping away that she's going to do. She has really been whipped by those folks. And I think with a new term, and with it being the next 2 years she has left on her term, if she has any intention at all of staying on the board past that, I think she knows she needs to get in line with the Republican majority, because they literally have left her out of a number of things to send a message to her that you're either with us, particularly Margiata, you're either with us, you're either with me, or you're against me. There's no in between.
Well,
what area does she represent? Do you know? I don't even know her area.
She is, I'm not sure. I think.
Yeah, her district's not up now, but I'll tell you something.
She has, over by Athens Drive, I think, is part of her area.
Right. So, go ahead, caller. I'm sorry.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Cash, I saw your documentary on Obama in North Carolina. It was outstanding.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm ready for another one.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Right.
Thank you.
I might do one on Todd, actually.
Oh, no way. I ain't never run for office.